AJ is looking for a second date update with a lady named Stephanie. Hi, AJ. How are you?
Oh, hi. I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Doing great.
Thanks for asking.
Great to talk to you. You know, I just want to tell you that, like, I've been listening to you since my mom drove me to school, like, in the 4th grade. So this is pretty
Oh, great.
cool.
Thanks for that.
Oh, God, please don't
Yeah.
tell me you've learned about dating by listening to Second Date Updates all these years.
Yeah, you'd think I'd be better at it.
You think you'd know what to do to avoid having to place a call to us, at least?
Yeah. Exactly.
But here we are.
Yeah, I met this girl on Tinder, which is, I guess, how you have to do it nowadays. And she was super cool and sweet and intelligent. We had very good conversation. She was, it was nice to have that. And, I also found out she was some kind of like makeup person. She works with makeup and facials and stuff. And she worked somewhere at the mall. I don't remember like the name of the place. So that doesn't matter. But you can definitely tell she knows what she's doing. Like, she was like dialed in. Her face looked really nice. She's beautiful, probably beautiful without makeup too, but definitely she was dialed in.
Putting her best foot forward.
Yeah, her best face forward, I guess.
There you go.
We met up for drinks. We went to Mad Tree, and I thought we had a really great time. Like, I was just like feeling it the whole time, and I felt like I represented myself good. I brought my A game. I was like, threw some jokes in, and I was, funny, and I flirted with her to make sure I knew that she was into me. I kind of put those
To make sure that she
there.
knew that you were into her?
Yeah,
And what does that look like exactly?
Well, just, kind of just the unspoken things that are kind of, once you flirt, you can kind of pick up on it if you know what to look for. But, everything seemed cool, and I felt like she was into it. I felt that there was that sort of equal interest happening, and I was even thinking we might go back to her place, but that didn't happen, and that was fine. Like, I was okay with that. It was, I'm a gentleman, so I'm not like expecting those things, but when you're dating, maybe that happens.
Would have been nice if you were invited.
It would have been nice, and but but you need to be invited. I didn't want to be forward and be like, hey, let's go to your place, and but I did think I'd see her again because everything went so well. So I was just like, that's why I was cool with it, because I was like, okay, this is just step one. We'll get to the other steps later, and she hugged me goodbye, and that was fine. There was no kiss, but kiss would have been cool, and but again, the hug was nice, and I said I'd call her later, and she said okay. So I was like, okay, this is how it's supposed to happen. But
so you felt like the door was open to making plans.
Yeah, it was like, I wouldn't, the way that I would break it down, I wouldn't see anything that happened or was said that would have been otherwise, but at least, she's not answering any calls or texts now. And so it's sort of like this situation of like, I don't know if I'm crazy because I wasn't drunk. I wasn't, I had a little buzz on, but I was still aware of the situation, and I don't know what's going on.
You feel like you behaved, you put your best face or foot forward, presented yourself well.
I was a gentleman.
You're pretty sure you didn't say anything stupid or offensive?
I feel like, what happened?
No, I'm pretty good with that. Like, my mom raised me, and so I'm I feel like I've grown up kind of knowing how to treat women from a woman, and I know the things not to say as well as some of the things to say, but I don't know what happened exactly that now.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because I want to go back to something you said. You said using nonverbal language, you felt you effectively conveyed to her that you were interested in her. And when we kind of asked you, what do you mean by that? You just sort of summarized it. Yeah, all those things. And I guess I would ask Jen, because you never know how these things come off.
Right.
When a man is flirting with you.
Yes.
How do you know?
Wait a minute. Let me see if I can remember. Okay, go ahead.
How can you as a woman tell this guy's definitely into me?
Oh, man. For me, it's always about eye contact. If they're trying to make a connection, there's an eye contact thing that's happening.
Jen, do you feel like there's a certain level of attentiveness that you don't typically get from a man unless he's really into you?
It's sometimes just even the way that they communicate with you can kind of tell you that they're into you.
Give them the eyes.
Or
like
not
they're nodding and they're really interested and they're hanging on every word.
Guys that aren't into me will, like, I remember dating, but it was like they wouldn't give you the time of day. When you would talk to them or ask them questions, you're out on the date, it's like pulling teeth.
Do you feel like you get the same level of attentiveness from Scott today as you did when you guys first started dating?
Probably more now because
really?
I'm always going, babe. Where before he had to act like he was into what I'm saying. Now he really has to listen.
Now
He knows he's going to get it.
Now he just
Now, once they know they're going to get it, all that stuff seems to
change a little. Yeah. But also, and I'm curious because I was like, usually guys will ask this question and they'll be like, well, how do I know the girl is into me? And we can always say when she's like touching you.
That's what I was going to say.
Guys don't do that.
Yeah,
when guys are into girls, they don't like touch your arm or touch your shoulder. Like they might maybe sometimes like scoot your chair in a little, but they're not very touchy.
Or
like
he
chicks
might. Do you think
are.
he might like put his hand on your back
I
as
don't
he's
know,
escorting you inside or something?
I don't know. I think that's like a security thing. It's
I don't know. If he
weird.
actually looks you in the eye and actually asks a question and then listens to you when you give them the answer
And really hears it?
and it's and then that to me is
That's love right there.
That's wow.
All right. Well, AJ, do you think there's anything else we need to know about your date with Stephanie that you think we need to know?
I wish there was. Like, I've had time to think about it and mull it over, and I've been watching the tape over and over again, and everything as far as what I can see and what I remember was fine and fun, and
all good.
And now you guys need to help me.
All right. We're going to try. I can't wait to hear what Stephanie has to say.
Same.
Well, why don't we do this? We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll call Stephanie and we'll find out what she really thought of AJ, her date with him, and whether or not there will be a second. As Second Date Update continues next with Jeff and Jen, Cincinnati's Q102. All right, AJ is a little smitten with Stephanie. He met her on Tinder. They got together, had this great dinner, great conversation, hung out at, well, I'm sorry, I had Mad Tree written down. So I guess, was it a dinner or did you just have drinks?
We met up for drinks, and I think there was a couple appetizers had, but it was mostly just to hang out and drinks.
Fair enough. He loved how put together Stephanie is. She really put her best foot forward. She looks like $1 million. She's beautiful, very nice. AJ was making sure that he was fully engaged, paying attention, listening, really into what she was saying. And we're just trying to understand why Stephanie, who seemed receptive to the possibility of talking to him again and maybe making future plans, suddenly ghosted. So was it all an act, or is there another distraction going on in Stephanie's life that we don't know about? We're about to find out.
Hello.
Hi, can we speak to Stephanie, please?
This is she.
Stephanie, it's Jeff and Jen and
Good morning.
everybody here at
Hi.
Q102. How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
And hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I can only think of one reason that you'd be calling me, because I do listen to the show.
Yeah, it sounds like you've been on a date or two recently.
Yeah, I've been dating. I've been on a handful of dates recently.
Well, we're calling about AJ, who loved spending time with you, getting to know you, and said you were just lovely. And he's a little disappointed that you haven't responded to any of his texts or phone calls. So, yeah, I mean, if you'd be willing to talk about that, I know AJ would really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about it. He's probably not going to like it, but whatever.
Well, what happened?
Yeah, we were out and we had a couple drinks, and he was flirting pretty hard. Like I could definitely tell that he was into me, but I didn't really know if I was into it yet. I mean, I was leaning more toward yes, but in the middle of the date, he took his hand and he put it on my calf, and he ran his hand down my calf, and he took off my shoe. And I freaked out a little bit, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And he said he needed to see my feet.
Feet guy.
Oh, all
right.
Maybe he has a foot fetish.
We've got one of those. It's been a while.
Yeah, I was really confused, and it was like in the middle of this place, and I mean, he was like nodding his head, and like he smiled, and then he started to put my sock back on, and I just like grabbed my sock and shoe from him, and but he specifically said he did not have a foot fetish.
He did not have a foot fetish. So did he say what that was about? Yeah, maybe he's checking for corns.
I mean, I don't really know. I didn't really say much to it after. I mean, I just kind of had a little buzz going on because I had a couple of drinks. So I was kind of going with it, but I was really freaked out, and I didn't really know what to do. But I was like, what the heck is going on here?
I wonder if he was testing to see if that's an erogenous zone for you, because I've heard that, like with some people, women in particular, that sometimes like the back of the knee or around the ankle area.
Yeah.
Is a thing.
It makes you, it's like kind of tickly.
Near my
Yeah.
knee.
I beg your pardon?
He wasn't anywhere near my knee. It was like the lower part of my calf.
Huh.
He was just going to the feet.
That's weird, though. The first time you meet him at the bar, like, I don't know, man.
Maybe it was a move. AJ, was that a move?
Look, I can explain. It's not. This isn't. Okay.
Are you a podiatrist?
I dated this girl once, and like once fall hit, and it was boot season. It sounds shallow, but like she totally like stopped taking care of her feet. Okay, and like nails grown out, the polish all grown out. Heels were rough. Like for example, when we were laying in bed, she would like rub her feet on my legs and feet, and it was just like totally rough and like
sandpaper.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do it. It was just like the opposite of what you want to feel. And so I just had to check out. I just had to make sure that her feet were good feet.
That was like the
That
first
is
thing on your
so
list.
funny.
Yeah, but I know a lot of women that kind of abandon their feet in the wintertime because
legs
pedicures
sometimes.
are expensive and they're
Yeah.
not going to be, spending that kind of dough on that.
There is a scene from an old Eddie Murphy movie called Boomerang
Oh,
where
yeah.
he goes out with this
Yeah.
drop-dead, stunning, gorgeous woman, and they go back to his place. He wakes up the next morning. He gets one look at her feet, and they're so grody and disgusting.
It's
that
like
he
a snaggle
completely
toe,
blames
yeah.
his
Out.
image of her, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, how'd the feet look? Did she pass the test?
She absolutely passed the test. Like she takes care of her feet. She takes she cares about her, how she looks, and I think the feet were in line with all of that. And
That's so funny though that
That's
it was
great.
that important to you that he felt that he had to check in that.
At the bar,
Like,
yeah.
I get
So
that that's
funny.
a thing, but like,
Well,
first date,
Yeah.
Good.
Stephanie, would it have helped if he explained it to you in that moment, or does that not make any difference to you at this point?
It does not make any difference to me because you don't start undressing people in the middle of the restaurant. Like, ew, weird.
Well, how would you have responded if he would have just asked you, so what is your foot care regimen during the colder months?
Do you use baby feet, yay or nay?
Yeah.
Should have been like, check, please.
I mean, maybe if he had asked me, if he had explained himself before starting to take my clothes off in the middle of a restaurant, I would have been okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like if he had said, "Hey, Stephanie, not to bring baggage into our conversation here, but I've had past relationships where, like, I'd meet someone I was really attracted to, and then found out that they had really disgusting feet. Is it okay if I take a look at yours? Would that have gone any better?"
I mean, it may have, but I'm still set in my decision.
I don't know. I still feel like you, though. Like that may not be first date material, but then how many more dates do I have to go on before you ask me to see my feet? I don't know.
So no chance of a second date. Is that right, Steph?
No.
All right. I hear AJ sigh. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Need to come up with a different play there, bud. I understand your I understand your concern and your curiosity and your need for answers. It's
Does
just-
Tinder
yeah.
work in such a way that you can put that on your profile as a must-have?
You could put it like in your tell me about yourself part.
You can
Number
say
one.
not a foot fetish, Just foot preference.
Yeah.
It's not a fetish.
Or your first date could just be at, go to Escape Nails and then go to
yeah.
Mad Tree.
Yeah, our first date together is going to be a pedicure.
Yeah, we went to
Mitchell's
Ambiance.
Salon and Day Spa does some incredible packages, like
that's a great
couples
idea.
packages
There you
thing.
go.
You could totally do that.
Because when you leave the salon, her feet would be amazing and very smooth because they would get that cheese grater out and just rough out the back.
True story.
They get
Followed
it out
by
every
the brick
time.
up top on those toes.
I have to bite my cup and look out the window when she does that.
I have to think about negative things. You are so right. I have to think about like horrible things happening in the world.
But think of how impressed she'll be with it. Oh, that's such a clever first date. He took us on a his and hers.
What cleansing?
Right.
I would be suspect.
Great idea.
All right, AJ. Well, I'm sorry, man, but we appreciate you putting yourself out there and for coming on Second Date Update.
Yeah, thanks for answering and helping, sort of.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you
bud.
tried. And Stephanie, we couldn't have done it without you. Thank you for taking the call and answering honestly. We appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. If you need our help with the Second Date Update, please just send us an email. Jeff and Jen at WKRQ.com and get yourself ready. If you have not already downloaded the Q102 app and logged in, you need to do that because we are now offering something super special on the app.
Second Date Update Uncensored.
Yeah, and the only way that you're going to get it is if you have the Q102 app and that you've logged in and created a profile, and then we send you a super secret password twice a week, and that's how you unlock it.
Make sure those notifications are turned on, though, so that you get those password alerts.
Yeah, you got to get the password.
Can't access Second Date Update Uncensored without those. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and search WKRQ to find the right Q102 app. Search WKRQ, download it, register, make sure the notifications are turned on, and then you're part of the club.